In today's economy, the most valuable degree isn't from a university. It's the ability to adapt, learn, and solve real problems with relevant skills. Good morning and welcome to Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? This beautiful Friday morning, the start of an already great weekend. On this platform, we're dedicated to amplifying the vibrant voices of the youth towards matters that concerns us all, cutting across all sectors: governance, mental health, technology, education. So you best know if it's of great importance, we're definitely talking about it. It's my absolute pleasure to anchor today's show. My name is Oluchi Precious Omenka, and of course, I've got the amazing lady vibe here with me, God's beauty, Israel Tobechuko. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Oluchi. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm beautiful.
It's the end of the week, guys. Somebody once said that this 2025 has to be very fast because I can remember Happy New Year.
I mean,
how come we're 5 months gone? We're heading to the 6th month of the year and it's so fast. So I saw another post yesterday. I'm always looking at posts and I try to resonate with it.
Tell me.
So it said it had different poles. So one part was just like trees around, and it says life when you don't have money, life when you have money. And it still has the same kind of picture to tell you that nothing really changes about life or about how things will be. What changes is you, yourself, and you know, the different circumstances that come your way. So that was quite interesting to understand that life will be life. You just move and ensure you're making the most out of it. I've come again in my inspirational vibe. But how are you feeling this morning?
I'm beautiful.
What's the weekend looking like for you?
Calm, really. I mean, I'm very sure I'm just going to be at home doing nothing.
I heard you telling Chinelo that you want to sleep.
Yeah, I want to sleep. I feel like I've not been sleeping a while. Yeah, so I actually need to sleep.
Amazing. So I told you that I have something to read out to you. When I saw it, I knew that this is for God's beauty. Let me hear what she has to say about this. So Joanne, a social media influencer in that sense, put out this long thread of posts and said, don't tell anyone your plans, just move in silence. Sometimes, yes, but sometimes silence also keeps you stuck. You might need a mentor, a sounding board, a second opinion, or your friend saying do it over a voice note. So if you're a closed mouth, not only do you not get fed, you miss clarity too. So the highlight is she's trying to break that stereotype of don't tell anybody your plans. If you tell people your plans, they can ruin it for you. And she has given her reasons why she feels like it can be good, but consider these other options. So what do you think about what Joanne said?
So I like this idea, you know, of having to tell people your plans and all of that. But then you should be very sure of who exactly are you telling what. Do you understand? I'm big on, first off, you know, knowing who you are, knowing what your spirit can actually take and all of that. But let me not move into the whole spiritual thing, but really, most of the times, things that I do is based on, you know, what my spirit is saying. Or who exactly is this person? How am I going to associate with this person? Is this person someone I can speak to? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you really cannot take out bad energy. And when we talk about bad energy or witchcraft, it's not really about what you see. Most of the times, when you say certain things out loud, you don't know who is saying in their mind, I'm this one no feel work. Even when they are smiling at you and telling you that, good girl, let's keep him moving. But again, you really don't know what is in the heart of the person. So that's why you have to be very cautious of who exactly you're telling what. Do you understand? So I hear her part, because then it's very important. But again, it depends on what exactly is even being said. There's a difference between when I'm saying, I just entered into this writing thing and I need someone to coach me on it. That's different than you know, telling somebody that, well, in the next 5 years, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's totally different, because then
what if it's about starting a business?
Starting a business is different.
It's something to tell someone about.
Yes, but then who are we telling? Are we telling an expert? Are you telling your mate?
So I've heard people say that sometimes when you want to get opinion, you're not only looking for the expert view of the opinion, but a regular man's understanding of what you want. So you can see how it appeals to different people. So if I want to start something and I'm telling, or for example, a book, I want to publish a book, a friend will tell me that, give that book to a regular person to read, have the person understand it, give it to a publisher or a fellow author, have the person understand, then give it to someone who is way above you. You can now judge from different perspectives based on their level.
So what is being said is what matters here. What is being said? You're talking about a book. It's something at the end of the day to get to the world. So yes, that's different. But then something that you've not yet established, something you've not even started working on, you have to be cautious of who exactly you're telling. It's a different thing if I have a book out and I say, oh, I want this, I want Oluchi to check the book, I want her to read it. This is something that is already open. Everybody, at the end of the day, everybody to get to the whole word. But when I've not even established this idea yet, I've not brought out the book, but it's still in my head. I'm still thinking about it. Okay, I want to do this book. I want to. You should be very concerned of who exactly you should be very cautious rather of who exactly you are telling what. It's very important. Yeah, it really depends on what is being said.
I knew you were still going to stand with you.
I mean,
with your standpoint of moving in silence. Don't let them know what's coming next.
It's simple.
It's okay. I guess our viewers can make the most of what they think about this particular standpoint. This is how we usher you into our Friday special segment. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we're going to look through the headline stories across different newspapers and even internationally. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back. What are your thoughts on these historical milestones? Today in history is not just to pass the time, it's for you to actually get awesome insight and perspective to things. And remember, you are the main ingredient in all of our conversations, so we'd love to hear your thought on this. Our phone lines are open. Please call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on now to the official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune in to channel 145, and do not miss this for anything at all. We're going to scan the pages of today's newspaper. We have the Punch, the Guardian, and the international papers, and God's beauty would lead us internationally.
All right, straight into the New York Times newspaper. By the main headline, we have that there's just the top center rather. We have 2 killed near Jewish museum. We are shot repeatedly. Then by the top right, we have Harvard lost ability to take any foreigners. Then below the Harvard story, we have tight House vote passes, deep cuts in taxes and aid. Then just beneath that, we have cry of free Palestine. Then left center, we have a gifted couple just days from his proposal. That's not sounding like a good news at all. And at the center of that, we have anti-deportation field, keep him where he is. And lower right, we have reports from Kennedy delivers a grim picture of youth health. All right, let's quickly talk. So I think about 2 headlines here I really love, and I want us to talk about it. And the first one says Harvard lost its ability to take any foreigners. So the United States government has stripped Harvard University of its ability to enroll foreign students by targeting and cutting a key funding source linked to international programs and research partnerships. Now, this decision drastically affects one of the world's top universities known for its global academic community. It could lead to a decline in international collaboration, diminish cultural diversity on campus, and hurt the United States' reputation in global education. So when I saw this headline, right, the first one I came to head is, what a quiet way of also ensuring that, you know, we don't have foreigners in the country. And this is, even though it's, I mean, they did not pinpoint it to say, oh, this is Trump initiative. It's more of, oh, it's the United States government. I still feel like there's something very, you know, fishy around it. But I mean, what the story is, you know, about is, you know how the government takes care of certain amount or certain. I mean, there's this policy where the United States government help some foreign students with, you know, academic, more like scholarship and all of that. And right now, the United States government is coming out to say that I understand that, you know, you want some foreign, you know, students to come to your university, but we are also looking at the amount and, you know, the money that's been put in, and we think right now we want to, you know, just take out some certain amount. And of course, the university is going to, you know, now put in some policies that would make some foreign, foreign individuals or some foreign students not to come to Harvard, and that's how it's looking really. So I mean, for me, I just feel like this is somehow tied to the whole immigration thing, because there's nothing you can tell me. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like it's politically backed, even though it's just some persons that are saying it. And the way they're making it look like, oh, it's because of, they want to help the government and, with their spendings and all. But we know deep down there's something relating to the whole immigration thing. Then there's this other headline that I wanted to talk on, which is tight House votes passes deep cuts in taxes and aid. So I really don't know first off, I don't know what's going on with all the legislatures around the world, because we see the ones that is going on with the here in Nigeria, and the whole reading thing. That thing will not leave my head. As far as we see how people the fact that they even thought about it, for me, it's really crazy. And just on the headline here, I'm still also thinking that how exactly did these people come together to think about this? Because some of these policies doesn't really make any sense to me. And what exactly is the policy? The policy is a very simple, but then I don't think it makes sense. Now, so they bring the first step. They feel like, oh, the government is spending so much, right? I mean, I already stated that before. And for them to, reduce cost, they felt like for the SMEs, they want to cut out some taxes so that way they are able to, make more money. And this mindset of when certain, certain group or certain sectors are making money, somehow the money tends to go around, that kind of thing. Now, but the problem now is people that actually need the money, which is the low-income earners and all of that. So there was a time we took a story about some caregivers that are not earning enough, then the government, pays them and all of that. Now, you go to those low-income earners and you also, take out some aid or some, amount of money that you're supposed to give them. You reduce it, and then you not say that, oh, the money that, this business people will make, once they start spending it, it will go around. I'm so confused. What kind of mindset is that? I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I guess it.
How exactly will the money go around? So if the business people feel like they don't want to, add in more money, or they don't want to buy anything or something, how will the money go around? Because at the end of the day, it's these people that will suffer for it. I don't know how exactly they think. I'm confused. Like, how exactly will it tally? People here that they're okay, they're not complaining that the taxes, imposed on them is too much. So you went ahead to reduce their taxes so that they can be able to, buy more, make more, produce more. We get that part. But then these people that actually need the money more, you now cut out their money instead of even increasing. You with the mindset of once these people start making more money and, they start buying things, the money somehow gets back to these ones. I don't know, man. I think there's something going on with all the legislatures around the world. There's something going on.
Around the world.
Yes.
Maybe we need your advice in this legislative council.
What's going on?
The one that really caught my interest in all of your story has to be the Harvard stuff, because I saw it on CNN yesterday, firstly. Then I saw it on UA's social media, and it was a very, very funny story. Very funny. Honestly, I don't know what really is the inspiration behind this whole immigration attack.
Yeah.
I would call it an attack at this point, because it is coming without any warning, and it is coming so strongly. And the last thing you said in that particular story was that this is going to affect the reputation of the United States towards, global education. And I wonder if they care about that at this point, or it's just about going head on with a policy that they feel is beneficial to them. Well, that's I guess that's all you have for the papers. Let me take you through the Nigerian papers. I don't know if I should start with the good news or the bad news. Let me start with the good news.
No, bad news first, so that we would calm ourselves down
before
with
the good news.
Exactly.
Okay, let me start. But guess what? The good news is not on the papers. It's something I read elsewhere, but I think it's still good news.
Okay.
But let's start with the Punch. The major headline reads, 2027 election. APC backs Tinubu, opposition searches for strong competitor. 52,000 Nigerians relocated to the UK in 2024. 13,500 terrorists and others killed in 2 years, says NSA. Southwest governors roll out regional economic master plan. U.S. court jails Nigeria for $1 million scam. Western oil firms exploited Nigeria's weak laws, says Jonathan. And above that, we see federal government direct AMCON to begin shutdown process. So I love that there's a story on this whole jackpot thing. People think that jackpot is something that maybe was a buzz at a particular time in this 2020s, 2021, 2022, but it's still something to talk about. And somehow I feel like deep down, maybe this is what's causing our own immigration, strong policies. But looking at this figure this morning, I was quite, I won't say dumbfounded, but I was really quite shocked. Like, really, we have this much number of people leaving the country in 1 year, 52,000. So there's this guy I follow on Instagram, Salem King. He just put out a poll on his story and said, where are the Japa people? Tell me reasons why you had to leave. And then some people responded. I was following the story. It was a long thread, but I was reading it and there was a pattern. Many people left, you can guess, economic instability.
Issues,
Some also mentioned marriage. Some mentioned parents. Some mentioned children. Some mentioned NSAS, that 2020. Someone said that period was really terrible for me. I couldn't cope anymore. I had to just leave to greener pastures. Let's imagine that that place is greener for you, because with this whole immigration thing, are you thinking that there won't be more jackpaders now? And then, you know, some other people mentioned marriage and many other stuff like that. So it's a trend, and it has become more in recent years. I'll tell you what the Punch really says as regards the figures. It says approximately 52,000 Nigerians migrated to the UK in 2024, according to a newly released data from the UK Office for National Statistics on Thursday, placing Nigeria among the top sources of non-EU plus migration during the year. The influx came despite a significant decline in overall net migration to the UK, which dropped by nearly 50% in the year ending December 2024. And, you know, several figures like that. But I'm wondering if this, my mind now is thinking that, do you think that with these certain immigration policies, because I'm linking both stories together, if I've had this great number of people leaving the country, and now there are now policies that are, you know, limiting people from leaving the country, are we going to see more talent, more individuals, more citizens now remaining in their country to make it grow? We have had different conversations that some people say, oh, it's not necessarily, I mean, where you are staying is how you can make the most out of it. Some even say if it is an economic problem, you can be earning in dollars in Nigeria, and that dollar is going to count for you. And different debates about this. But let's see how it eventually, you know, unravels as we, you know, we're saying in this world. We'll see how it happens. And who knows, you know, you can be talking about jackpot and very soon, you just find a reason to also be part of that number. It just happens. I've heard stories of people that it wasn't exactly planned. It's not like they've been planning that, but it just happens. I've heard stories of people that it wasn't like they've been planning that spontaneously, like, oh, there was an opportunity. And that's why we had a conversation one time. People fall prey to some random opportunities that come. Some, you know, become manipulative and use study visas as a means of relocating permanently. So different things happen at the end of the day, and it's a major concern. Let me take you through The Guardian. The Guardian has stories. I didn't read this one on this 2027 election stuff. So it says here that APC backs Tinubu. I think he mentioned that 20 governors already declared Tinubu sole candidates for 2027 poll. So that means the ruling party is very strong at this point as regards the 2027 elections. And I'm wondering what the opposition party, if there will be any, because as it's looking like now, I don't know if I can recall specifically what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said in one interview as regards this one-party system thing. I can't recall the whole information. But in case there's no opposition party again, and we're going with one ruling or one-party system, we're embracing the possibilities of, you know, a comeback. Let's see how that works. Fingers crossed. The Guardian newspaper has 2027 again. Opposition kicks as Tinubu hails defection and APC endorsement. President submits 1.48 trillion naira rivers appropriation bill to Senate. The Patriot Southwest stakeholders demand new constitution and true federalism as well as equity. Defect with me to APC or resign, Governor Eno tells cabinet. Vacate our land before June, Thief Council tells herders. Above that, we see Dangote slashes petrol prices as independent marketers undercut price. Akpabio and Bello may testify as federal government files criminal charges against Natasha. 2027 SDP Adebayo reject Atiku and may step down for Obi. Above that, we see Otedola, Tinubu Cardoso policies revived investors' confidence. On this fear story, the reason why I have not been taking it very, I will say seriously, but I don't know. The news have not been exciting me as like before. Every time I'm on this table and I see Phil, that's one of the first things I want to talk about. But I think their trend have been so repetitive, and there's really not. But I think their trend have been so repetitive, and there's really nothing interesting. It's still the whole battle with Dangote and the private marketers, and at the end of the day, the grasses are the ones suffering for it. But this is a new what will I call it now, a new initiative from INEC, and I'm wondering if it's a good one. So it's ahead of the 2027 general elections. INEC has approved the establishment of AI under its Information and Communication Technology ICT department. It said the initiative is part of the ongoing internal reforms to institutionalize technology-driven solutions in the nation's electoral process. The National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, who disclosed this in a statement, said the Commission considered the increasing relevance of AI to elections and electoral activities in Nigeria and across the world. He said the Commission also attended several conferences with colleagues around the continent on the impact of AI on polls. Olumekun noted that the interactions were not only motivated by the concern over the use of AI to spread fake news or manipulate content online, but also to utilize its benefits for data-driven decision-making. And let's say maybe this could help 2027 elections become better, but every sector now is looking at the inclusion of AI towards making things better. So I'm not so surprised that INEC is thinking of this. So let's not make it look like it's one great invention coming up. I mean, if you go for many seminars and conferences, you hear inclusion of AI on this table. Well, I've said AI. I mean, there's this media house that had to use the inclusion of AI, or I forgot how they put it, in reading news and everything. So everybody's using AI for everything to make things better. But let's see how this particular inclusion is going to help us get better with our data and ensure transparency. Because I think the whole duty and responsibility of INEC at this point is to ensure that election processes are free and fair, and that the numbers are numbering. Let me use the Gen Z terms.
Yes.
Things are as they ought to be. So if AI can help achieve that, I wonder how though, but let's imagine that it can. I think it's a very good initiative. And to wrap up the stories this morning, I saw a good news. Would I call it a good news? It's good. I mean, if your name had been cancelled from the book of from the book of death, at that point you classify it as good news. So Nigeria joins Switzerland, Singapore, China, and New Zealand on the list of countries not indebted to the IMF. Are you happy about such? You are not longer on debtors list. And sometimes I feel like hearing some news like this just helps me like, okay, our country is not totally gone. Because, I mean, there was a time I think I've heard about this loan stuff that was repaid, and people have been questioning that how was the loan repaid? Was it like we borrowed from somewhere to pay someone, like it happens in our daily life? Where somebody, you're owing someone, and the deadline has reached. You say, let me borrow from another person to pay this one so that it looks like I'm off the books of this. But we don't know that whole story. I mean, it's not very transparent in that sense. Let us know how exactly it happened. But on the surface, it seems good because we've been topping the chart in many bad things so far. So to join China, Singapore, Switzerland, and other countries to be countries that are debt-free, my shoulder is like this. How they used to do that trend. Anyways, that's all we can take for today's headline stories across the globe. For our conversation this morning, it's quite hot, and we're looking at, I mean, the federal government has some initiatives, some career initiatives for youth in Nigeria today. So if you're a young person listening to us now, this is where you have to stay close to your device, because we're going to be dishing very important information for our hot topic this morning. Stay with us, we'll be right back. I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria, we will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve. Welcome back and thank you for sticking with us. Our topic for today is relevant skills for Gen Z in the Nigerian economy. Nigeria is facing some of its most pressing challenges today: rising unemployment, food insecurity, energy deficit, and a growing digital economy that demands a whole new set of skills. In response, the federal government recently reaffirmed its commitment to skilling up young Nigerians through initiatives like the Skills to Wealth S2W program. And the goal is to equip 10 million youth with practical, job-ready skills in agriculture, automobile technology, and renewable energy, all tailored to meet our country's current needs. But beyond government initiative, there's a bigger conversation. What are the most relevant skills that Gen Z, Nigeria's most connected, tech-savvy generation, really needs to thrive in today's economy? With opportunities shifting and digital transformation changing the job landscape, how can young people position themselves not just to survive, but to lead in this new economy? So we want to understand the government's focus and see how to relate this. I mean, on this table is the Gen Zs that are here, God's Beauty and I. So we're going to break this topic as much as we can. How did you feel, firstly, about this whole, I know I sent the link yesterday, the whole S2W initiative to equip Gen Zs, youth in that sense, younger people, with relevant skills that addresses the country's problem from, technology, agriculture, to solar panels. So a lot of things that, before I talk about, they don't look interesting, but it's an initiative. It's like an idea to help. I mean, people have always complained that the youth are not complained, they've always said the youth are the future of tomorrow, right? So if we're having problems with our economy, instead of complaining, let's get them to be the ones to solve it. So what do you think about the whole initiative? Can you try to understand why the government chose to focus on this? What do you think?
I think it's a beautiful initiative. Of course, if implemented properly with the right person. I saw the plenty amounts that was allocated. I hope that money do not enter some certain account and it's just for this project and this project alone, for this initiative and this initiative alone.
I like how you went to the money part first.
Yes, now it's important because we know how these things are. Most of the time, when we hear initiatives like this, you know that there are some people that are looking for ways to collect certain amounts of money. But then, I mean, like I said, it's a beautiful initiative. And just like you said, the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. So, I mean, which better person do we call, to take up this mentorship? So, yes, I think it's a beautiful one. And how we are actually focusing on agriculture, tech, and all of that. I mean, if you remember the last time we had a conversation around, bringing or including the inclusion of tech into agriculture. If you've heard experts, talk about it, you see that it's a very beautiful thing with how all the things that are said from insecurity, when it comes to food, down to ensuring that we are even producing, the right crops that will not harm us at the end of the day. So yes, I think it's a beautiful one, of course, if implemented properly. And I think that, now that we have the amount of money and they have a certain, amount of people that they want to reach out. Yeah, that they want to reach out to. I think it's important that, we bring in all of those people. And just as, they have gone into agriculture, they've gone into tech, they've gone into renewable energies. I feel like these are like the top things that actually we even need to take care of in Nigeria. Because we're always talking about food, we're always talking about the fact that, certain things are not included, in tech-related now. And we always talk about NEPA, no day, or no lights, and all of these things. So, I mean, the fact that we are even tackling all of these things, I see progress. I see progress in the Nigerian economy. I see progress, but really it has to start with the implementation. I like the initiative is a good one, but I just hope that, there are not some other things beneath it. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
That's your 2 cents on it, and that's a very great way to start the conversation. So firstly, when I saw the post yesterday, firstly, anything that has to do with empowerment, helping people, young people, impact in that sense, it makes me happy. It makes a lot of sense, and yes, this is what we need: empower a lot of people. But then this is like a government initiative for young people, and it's an S2W program in that sense, Skills to Wealth program.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we give some solution to some things, we try to create new solutions. Like maybe we feel because of a problem, the solution we had before wasn't working. Let's now create new ones. Well, firstly, I just even thought about it. These sectors that they want to focus on are sectors that we have in the higher institution. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That means normally the higher institution is supposed to be a program. It's supposed to be that skills to wealth program that will attend to millions of students and equip them for things that are necessary like this. But what do we see today? We see higher institutions not even focusing on what needs to be focused on. And I'm like, okay, if you have institutions in your nation that caters to agriculture, there are schools across Nigeria that have agricultural economics, right? Different things in agriculture. There's botany, there's zoology, biotechnology. People are studying fishery. People are studying this for 4 years, 5 years. That's a program. So are you telling those people that went to these schools for 4 years? I mean, we know what it means to go to a university in Nigeria. It's another thing. It's another end game entirely. Are you trying to tell them that after their 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, like me, that stayed 6 years for a 4-year course, to now still enroll in another program because this is not a special initiative? I think we've been sold a lot of special things lately. And I'm usually the one that comes in. I don't know how to say this, but please, let's stop making things look like we're bringing one special solution wrapped in one beautiful pink box. And you want to make us feel like, oh, yes, there's a government that is caring for youth initiative. Because look at it. We normally, the way the country is, you focus on education. All right? And there are avenues for you to be able to focus on this very properly. That's the higher institution. So why is the skills to wealth program not an higher institution thing? I don't know the full story, so I stand to be corrected. Maybe they want to take it to higher institution. But at first, it was looking like something that is separated. I stand to be corrected. Maybe they want to take it to higher institution. But at first, it was looking like something that a new solution. Sorry, but that's not the way forward. The way forward is to, I know people say that if you've been doing some things, over and over again, and you're not seeing impacts, change how you're doing it. Maybe that's what the kind of initiative or the kind of mindset they're using to address this initiative. But if you look at it properly, that's why we have schools. That's why today, higher institutions across Nigeria have tripled their school fees. I entered the University of Lagos paying 20-something thousand, which used to be big money. Then let's not talk about economy, inflation, and everything. But now people are paying over 100. And you're saying after suffering 4 years, and there's still another program. This is not even masters, though. This is like a skill acquisition program. There's also NYSC. What do they do in NYSC? Teach people how to do makeup and fashion parade. I'm like, I know that we paid a lot of new solutions. I'm not saying that this is not a program that makes sense, but having to colorize some solutions at this point needs to be really addressed. So that was my first thought that, okay, this thing looks like it's new. You can bamboozle someone that is just reading this for the first time. But that's why we have higher institutions. Today, some of these higher institutions, we've had complaints about people that study skills like biotechnology, geography, agriculture, economics. What are they doing today? They're doing something different. Fishery, botany, they are doing project management. They are doing TV hosting. Are you following me? So what is now what is the difference that this skills to wealth program wants to do that the university weren't doing? I've already rambled for a while. But now let me try to take another point. So I get that it's a good initiative because it's, firstly, if you look at the economy today, many of our problems are rooted in agriculture deficiency. We don't have people focusing on it. We've said many times that Nigeria is rich in natural resource and natural reserves, so we need to focus on this. That's good alignment. But firstly, there's still also a question of alignment. Because if you want to bring up skills like this that some students didn't enjoy in university, how do you want to actually see scale? Because you're talking to youthful people. I don't like when people act in oblivion. You must understand the generation that you are dealing with. This is a generation that has seen things that are working elsewhere, that have entered. I was seeing someone that said that today we have a lot of role models in entertainment. I mean, look at people. If you talk to a young person, they're talking of a Nancy Sime, Davido, right? Actors and all of that. So it's as if we have more role models and mentors in that industry as compared to education or diplomacy, for example. How many youth will you hear involved in diplomatic discussions? Do you understand? Or, policy making. You find very, very few of them. Other things interest them. So I'm like, we already have that problem. how do you plan to firstly solve that mindset problem before this initiative can even start? Because to me, I'm seeing this initiative as a school of agriculture and technology and solar panels. And I don't think I want to enroll in it because it doesn't interest me. There are other ways I can better myself. So I've been looking at this, but let's now even try to understand this whole initiative. Do you think that it can actually genuinely solve unemployment, or is it another one-off intervention? Because another reason why the government will tell you that they're giving initiatives like this is because the youth always complain of unemployment. Now I want to give you a skills to wealth program, a solution, so that there will be no more, rambling about unemployment. So let's imagine that this thing kicks off. Do you think it's actually going to solve unemployment issues?
So, one of the problems that we have here in Nigeria is implementation. Just like you talk about the whole school thing. To be honest,
I don't know why I said that. I want to say something else, but something just says mention universities.
No, I actually agree with you 100% because just like you said, if you look at it, one of the reasons why we even have all of these issues in school is again implementation. For every time, even our curriculums and all of these things are not checked. You would literally, you see lecturers come to class very, very wary about. There's no intentionality about even passing the right information. And I think it was here I stated that it's only in our universities that they are not concerned about raising innovators. They're concerned about job seekers. Do you understand? And that is a problem. Yeah, it's true. That's the problem. So even down to this scale, until it is implemented properly, it can of course help with unemployment and all of those. But then we have to start with the right path. It's not enough to teach these persons. You have to also put them, build up settings that would ensure that will make them want to stay there. Just like you said, of course, any normal Gen Z is not ready to go and start carrying hoe and cutlass. But that's why I love the tech in it. So you have whatever that we are doing, it has to be tech related because then we also have to look at the way the world is evolving. We cannot. It's not. We have passed that time of cutlass and hoe. That's why we even went to tractors and all of these bulldozers and all. But again, we've also passed that. We have passed that. So I was when I saw this topic and I was thinking about it. It just somehow I kind of my mind went to this lady Nurse Mirage and all. If you remember when Nurse Mirage started, she said with the whole you guys will come together. She ask you questions. Right now she has an app. For you to actually tell that the world is evolving. Technology. No, that is what it is. So it's not enough to say, oh, let's teach these people this thing. You have to infuse technology because that's what actually excites, young people. That's what excites Gen Zs. We want to be able to do things smartly, simple, with not hard work, smart work. Do you get? So for us to actually get there, you have to start from the implementation. The money is already there. That is a lot of money. Something trillion, something billion, it's a lot of money already. Do you understand? So when it is again ensuring that when we have that amount brought in, we have the right people that are putting it in. Then this the number of people, like I said, I like the fact that they already know the number of people that they want to appeal.
10 million.
Exactly.
The question is, where are they going to source those 10 million from?
Exactly. So that is also another question.
Are writing UTME? They'll say no. Instead of going to university, there's another option in your JAM. They say S2W. So where are they even sourcing them from? So
you see, all of these questions are something that they even need to answer. They need to answer for because it's not enough to just say, oh, we have this initiative, bring it on. Even to be honest, when I saw the link that you sent and I was reading through, it's actually from a minister, and I'm like, oh, okay. So if you remember on the show, I think that should be like on Tuesday, so I can't remember when. But there was a time where Okiki in her news, she was stating that I think on May 29th, the president will be taking out some ministers that are not doing the job efficiently. So when I saw that, I said, is this one not a? But you get the point.
I get the point. This is so when I saw that assignment for a while. Let me do a bit small so that I will shake and make it look like I'm working.
Exactly. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay. But again, it really, to be honest, it just takes someone that is intentional, someone that wants to make that is intentional about ensuring that this initiative works well because it's a good initiative. We've always have this kind of initiative every time here in Nigeria, but it's not enough for us to talk about it. We also have to go into it. Who exactly are the people? How are you going to meet this people or the students, those Gen Zs that you want to bring in to ensure they learn all of these things. So yeah, for me, for us to be able to people bring in to ensure. For us to be able to solve one, ensure that we have the right people that is even packing all of these things.
Like what you mentioned, you said we in our institutions we are not training people that are innovative. That's so keen. Honestly, it's just about, that's why even some first-class students, some scholars in that sense, I heard a story of someone that said, I mean, she did probably engineering in one of these Nigerian institutions, graduated top of her class, very bright student, you know, all those FE we used to call in class, we call them scholars.
I mean,
and, you know, today we have many of these scholars going abroad, you know, to do their masters and everything. But I think this one was more like a practical simulation of what was being taught. So when the facilitator asked, what do you think about this? And trust Nigerian students now, when you ask us definition, we'll give you 5, 6 from different textbooks. And that's the kind of approach she gave to answering that. And guess what? He wasn't impressed. Because we've seen intelligence in a different way in our institution. And maybe it's something that needs to start being worked on. So he was like, okay, so how do you now put this? And she was totally numb. This is someone that's in Nigeria. Just said that the lecturer will use it as an example. This is what I'm talking about. Some of you don't read. Read your book. Please, sir, apart from reading our books, how can we put to practice all these things that are being taught? So you're very right about the whole innovation thing. And I think we need to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to open more things. We're young people speaking here. So we're not speaking as people that are trying to not relate to this particular, you know, context. And every young person listening to us, I really implore you to send a message to us and let us know what you think about this S2W program that needs to be initiated or that wants to come to play. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we're heading straight to the conversation.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back. Today we're discussing, career development in that sense, linking it to the S2W initiative from the ministry. And we want to find out what relevant skill Gen Zs or youthful people can start, having or start, training themselves in to become relevant in our economy today. And the government has brought different initiatives to train people in agriculture, in technology, in renewable energy. Some of those things that we look at and like, what's this one? How's it going to give me the next few dollars? But it's an initiative to help, the economy that is already going, down the drain. And we've discussed this, in different ways. I first started by explaining that why do we then have universities if we're having new programs here and there? That's the job of universities. If we place a lot of focus and solution, looking now at God's beauty, to what we already have, maybe we don't need all this. Because look at the money you're pumping into this thing. Pump it into the universities that are always complaining, right? This whole student loan thing, we've heard of how embezzlement have been happening. We're going to have a conversation about that very soon. I know the news has died down as regards, because I think 2 weeks ago it was everywhere. Do you understand? Now it has died down. That's how news like that will work. When the truth is about to come out, somebody will talk about it for a few moments, then you just put it down without us knowing how exactly it has been solved. So we've looked at all of this, and I'm going to really stand by that. It's a good initiative, face value. But if you look deeply, we already have initiatives like that in our schools. We already have programs like that. We already have all this renewable energy you're talking of. Maybe not practically now, but that's why institutions should start looking at a more practical approach so that we don't waste money. I mean, this, to me, I don't want to see it as a waste of money, but let's put our money into the right places. Now, the next question, I have is, I want to look at this very, wholesomely as well. What skills do you think young Nigerians gravitate more towards? I know you want to start with your content writing stuff.
Literally.
But first, let us not throw the whole, how do they call that proverb, the water and the baby away. Do you think that young Nigerians, youthful people, Gen Zs like you and I, cannot maybe gravitate towards this kind of initiative? Do you think there are people that are not even passionate? Or what's the majority like? What other skills are Nigerians more passionate about? And should that be what this S2W initiative should focus on? Or is it not going to solve, is it going to not solve the problem that we really want to solve? I don't know if you get my question.
No, I hear you, I hear you. I feel like most of the time, I mean, one of the reasons why, young people are more tuned into content creation, tech-related, cryptocurrency, and all of those things. I think one of the reasons is because it gives that freedom. Nobody is bothering you. You're not stressed. You're not under anybody. Do you get?
I'm sorry, you didn't get that. You said?
Okay, I said one of the reasons. I mean, let's start with the fact that young people, the sectors or the places you see them more, the industries you see them more is into the entertainment part, just like you said. We have like people that want to do content and all. I mean, then the few persons that are into tech are somehow doing cryptocurrency, into cryptocurrency, everybody's trading, because then, there's that liberty to do what you like. There's freedom. No, you're not under anybody. Nobody's stressing you and all. To be honest, I feel like that's something into it, because you're on your own, you're just doing your thing, you're doing what you love, those kind of things. The fact that you're free to do whenever you like, you're free to do it anytime you like, depends. You're the one to call the shots, really. There's nobody telling you what to do, how to do it, where to do, and all of those things. So I think that's one of the reasons why many young people are into the whole entertainment, whatever. Now, for this initiative, like I said before, the only way that, to some extent, young people will be excited about is if it is, it has an inclusion of tech. And I think it's something that we actually even need. Because to be honest, we as a country, this is 2025 to start with, I feel like there are some things that we should have actually grown. We should be in a certain place right now. People say people are developing. Is that not what people said? Yeah, we are supposed to be. Process. It's a gradual process. That's the problem. That's the excuse people keep giving yourself. If you say you're developing, we need to see it. Do you understand? We need to see it in progress. We need to see technology in everywhere. And it's not just about having technology. We just say, this particular body or this particular organization, we are bringing this particular thing. It's not enough for us to do that. We have to see it work. We need to see it function. It's not like the story that we took, was it yesterday or the day before, about the boy that, died during the whole traffic and, that particular incident is uncalled for, because, to be honest, Nigerian police, if you have passed that particular place where you are pursuing a particular, either a traffic offender or a criminal in that sense, we've actually passed that. The plate number is there. You track the person. That's the reason why the car is registered and all. Do you get my point? You said there's traffic lights and all of that. Why does it not have a CCTV that is supposed to actually check the movements of each car? So you even know when a particular car passes, at what point.
I heard that at some point. Even
they said they have exactly. It's not, that's what I'm saying. It's not enough for us to have it there. It's not for fancy.
Aesthetics.
It should be working. It should be something that is functioning. Do you understand? So that's one of the problems. We just, most of the time we just say, oh, this particular sector, we have the inclusion of tech there. It's tech related, blah blah blah. But we're not seeing it working. But that's one of the reasons why, at the end of the day, even when people talk about agriculture and all, most times, many young people don't know that tech inclusion is actually in it right now. Just like we have what the meters that they used to check the ground. At what point they should put in their fertilizers. At what point should they plant their crops and all of that. Many young people don't actually even know that. Some people still think that there are still people carry. Many young people don't. There are still people carry hole and cutlass to the. Let's be honest.
Really, young people.
I think some people do. Do you get what I'm saying? So you really cannot take that out. So if at all you want young people to love this initiative, it has to be, create that awareness for them to know that, we have tech inclusion in all of these things. Then there should also be that leverage for them to do things the way they want to do it. They should have experts train them, which of course that's why we are having this conversation.
Sure.
But then they should also have that liberty to do what they want. You get what I'm saying? They should see that initiative as something that. I think that's one thing about the entertainment space. It's just there, and when you're working into a space and probably, I don't know if they do it in your church, but you know where you're going to church in the morning and you see somebody by the side telling you, hello, good morning, how are you, welcome. Welcome to church. Exactly. So imagine you're able to create this initiative in a way where once somebody sees it, it's giving that vibes of, hello, I'm here, just pick me, it's going to be nice. Trust me, every young person would want to go into it.
So
that's
the way
literally
you're
what it
painting
is.
it is looking like, sir, this your initiative will not see the light of day. Apologies, but it's looking like, are you sure young people will be interested? But I don't want to think that not every young person is not interested in agriculture.
No, of course,
I've had some friends, I know someone that graduated from school. I think she did read botany, and this girl is an environmentalist. She loved all this green nature, green life. I'm like, wow, people are like this that actually love renewable energy discussions.
Yeah.
That's the kind of conversation she goes for. I can't attend such panel. I'll be bored. I'm going to be bored. I mean, something else will interest me. So I think the first thing is selecting people that will be in that initiative.
Yeah.
Because this initiative is specific. This initiative has an intention to help the economy that is already going down. So you don't want to waste money or pump money for people who are not going to be interested in this. So I don't know how the selection process will go. I mean, in Nigeria, the youth contributes the largest, percentage of people in this space, right?
Yes.
So that means you are concentrating on a large number of people, meaning that the selection has to work on. If you're going to use the NYSC, I don't know, universities, UTME, I don't know how that selection will work, or maybe it's just a random thing, come and register. All this come and register thing, again, has a lot of politics that goes into it.
Yeah.
That's how one uncle or auntie will know that, I'm bringing on my bloodline, all the people in my family tree to be here, and these are people that are really not even interested in it. But we've looked at other sectors as well. The truth is, I know we think agriculture, technology, renewable energy are the things that will take us, to be
another level,
that top 5 in the nation. But honestly, if you look at what is already working in your nation, if you pay attention to it, maybe you can get that solution, that answer that you need. For example, there was someone on this table one time that talked about the tourism industry. That is an industry that interests young people.
Yeah.
That is an industry that is untapped. That is an industry that if we pay so much attention to, our GDP, or how they call it, it's going to be improved upon. But that industry cannot be paid attention to if there's insecurity. Do you understand?
Yes.
If, there's hostility, and many things not working, across different nations, Dubai, look at all those nations that people visit. Do you know how much they get from things like that? We've seen young Nigerians, content creators, come out to make videos, in different places, and it makes other foreigners say, oh, this is lovely, let me come here. That's already generating revenue for you, and other nations are getting it. And that's what interests young people. So if you can focus on it as well, you will get the economy to be booming. I know we talk about agriculture a lot, but let those that love the agriculture focus. There's also the entertainment industry. I mean, we've seen over time how Nigeria seems to really be breaking the bar when it comes to this industry. Our movies have gotten better. Our awards are quite interesting. It's now competing with the Met Gala and the Grammys. It shows that the government should not totally isolate themselves from this industry. I think that the entertainment industry is one industry that chose to rise regardless of any help from the government.
Intentional about entities that are, like I've always mentioned. To be honest, one of the reasons why the entertainment industry is where it is today is because every individual is very concerned about not just themselves alone, but ensuring that the other person is doing well. Take, for example, the movie industry, the Nollywood. You see that before now, we always complain about the storyline. We always complain about so many things. Me as a storywriter, as a storyteller, even as a writer, if you come to me and you give me a very, very funny story, I would help you modify it. And if you don't like it, I'll know why, because it's not my name that you will come and put there. To be honest. Yes. Yeah. So everybody is intentional about ensuring that whatever they are putting out there is right. So imagine we have that in the private sectors as well. Trust me, we would do better.
Since we have been doing a good one in this sector, if you can have this government, this economy, pay attention to it, they can also improve it much more with the money that they have, and then get more revenue that can eventually help the economy as a whole. So the point of thinking that Gen Zs are focusing on the wrong kind of career, come to the agriculture and technology, I'm not saying that maybe it's totally wrong, but if you diversify, make this program not I mean, how will I put it? Just focused on one area. Because looking at this, first of all, I'm like, I'm not interested. I don't want renewable energy, sir. I want to do something more interesting, something that has to do with my line in digital communication, in storytelling, in, do you understand, in strategic communications. I would be interested. So at this point, it's about diversity. Do you understand? In strategic you're working with youthful people, fabric of every nation. So if you can, I think the nation is going to move forward, honestly. And this is where we're wrapping up the conversation. So talking about this initiative again, I want to see how this will eventually unravel. I hope it's not one of these stories that we see and then till next 3 months, we don't even know what happens again. But I'm sure you've learned 1 or 2 things from our conversation today. You can still drop your comments or read it anywhere that we are. And this is how we say, have a great weekend. Till next week again, Mondays to Friday, Ways Breakfast, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Stay sharp.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?